this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. So we've got like a jillion Mandelas for today. I don't even know if I'll get through all of them. I had to like be picky a little bit. I'm still like a week behind in the comments. Jackie, you found so many, so I just kind of did a bunch and then I stopped because there's too many to even talk about if I kept going. So maybe I'll try to catch up. So this thing, I don't know, I was trying to think of what to use for the thumbnail, and then this thing. I would have used this image, but it was I don't know, it wasn't a JPEG, and I'm not sure if it'll upload, but this was the hilarious thing. So apparently this thing's been around since they discovered this thing in the 90s, the fossils for this. I have never seen anything this ridiculous in my life. They're saying it was, what was that ridiculous amount? 80 tons. They're guesstimating this thing at 80 tons. Now, I mean, maybe if there's not much gravity or something. So this is a man, and this is the thing. So there have been other images where they kind of like make the neck look a little less fat, but apparently the fossils seem to indicate this as actually being it. And then this person here is like asking, is this even real, or is it just like a mistake? And this was 2 years ago. And people in here are like, well, it was in limbo, and then more research shows it existed, but we don't know much. And of course its name is Brahotchaiosaurus or something like that. Okay, well, yeah, whatever, I don't know. This is from Taro Eto, our friend in Japan. So thank you so much for pointing this one out. Like, I don't do a lot of dinosaurs, but I am quite sure that if I had ever seen this thing before, I would have noticed and remembered it. It's sort of like that one where there's a shark that has like an endless, like a saw blade mouth or something. That was another one I covered, because there's no way there was a animal with a saw blade mouth in my old timeline. Yeah, it does. It looks like a giant snake ate something and the feet stuck out, but yet it's walking. So I don't know. So let's see, where are we here? So some people shrunk it down, the neck, because it looks so ridiculous, but the fossil shows it like this. I mean, that's and all the earlier images showed it, and then you could see that they're sort of like, what do we do with this? Look, all right, so here, so there was a while where they didn't know what like type of dinosaur was it like a sauropod or whatever? Yeah. So they were trying to like compare it with the existing ones and figure out what that is. So this guy shortened down the neck, but it is supposed to look like this. Let's see. Actually, let me do this Reddit one, because now I'm kind of curious. There were other ones like this? No way. Okay, so Brahotchaiosaurus is the one I was looking at, but we've also got a bunch of other one of these. Barosaurus lentis. I thought Argentinosaurus was the largest. What the hell? That's Argentinosaurus. So there's a bunch of these fat neck things. It's not just that one. There's that one, and that one. Besides Barosaurus, all we have is scattered remains of legs and vertebrae. So they have a really good fossil record of that thing, which looks a lot like that thing. So, this is all from 2 years ago. Interesting. What happened to Brachiosaurus bones? It was Rebbachisaurids. I don't know what's going on. There must have not been gravity back then or something. I just don't see, we have whales now, but they are in the ocean and that's how they're able to move. So how do you have the muscles in your legs to counterbalance this, and then the tail is so tiny? Like, how does is it just made out of foam in there? I don't get it. Anyway, I didn't read this whole thing. I actually don't know why people like New York personally. You were talking about New York. I don't get the allure of New York. It's got crappy weather. It costs a fortune. It's dirty. Like, I don't know why. I could see if it was low cost maybe, but I just don't I don't get it. Maybe it has more culture, but I mean, is that going to make up for living in a postage stamp apartment for $5,000 a month or whatever it is, and living through all that crap weather? And now they've got freaking hurricanes and stuff too. They didn't used to have that, but now they have that too. And of course, Arizona's, and then Florida's hotter than hell. Actually, I don't think Florida's too bad. Except for in the summer, it's just too hot. It's too hot for me, but I'm super spoiled because I grew up in California. And it's gotten really expensive in Florida. But I think I'd rather live in the beach life than the crowded, stinky, garbage-strewn streets city life. So, and I have to say, all the homeless bums is getting to be less and less pleasant. All the meth heads and people screaming in the stores, and even here, you go into the store and there'll be somebody in there just yelling about some perceived indignity for a half hour, and nobody will do anything because I guess insurance makes it that the businesses won't allow their employees to lift a finger. They will be security there. Security won't do anything as long as the screamer does not attack somebody. I don't even know if they do anything if the screamer did attack somebody. Maybe they just get on the phone and call the police. I don't know, but it's completely useless. I mean, in the old days, employees would storm over there and grab that person and throw them out of the store. And the cops would come and arrest them if that didn't happen. And that would be the end of it. But there are no ends to that now. So this is what we get. The behavior never stops if there's no consequences, I think is what it is. So I don't think I like the cities as much as I used to, because the cities used to be a little bit more, I don't know, relaxing than they are now. There's just been a lot of that. I mean, you'd think it only happens on the internet and then it starts happening here, and then it's I guess because I grew up in a different world where they would have just been no, we're not doing that. Okay, this is a bizarre one. I think it was covered before, but the balcony scene in Romeo and Juliet, where Juliet's on the balcony and Romeo is on the ground looking up, doing his poetry. And that whole thing apparently never actually happened in the play now. There's no balcony scene in the play. In fact, apparently the storyline now is that balconies did not exist at that time. They did not put balconies on buildings in that area in that era. So there were no balconies, therefore you could not have a balcony scene. And maybe that's why the balcony scene had to disappear, because the history of architecture changed. I don't know, but apparently now the story is that the place where the balcony scene was supposed to happen did not have a balcony, so they went and added one. So people now think, oh, that's the balcony scene, and there's the balcony, but it's a added balcony, even though it looks pretty close. I mean, where is that? Open. It looks like it fits on there, right? But now they're saying it never did. So the balcony scene didn't happen. So yeah, let's see. The term balcony never appears in the play. The feature did not exist in England during Shakespeare's time. England didn't have balconies? With the word itself not appearing in English until after the play was written. Okay, well, even if they didn't use the word balcony, you think that the terrace, I don't know, but apparently they didn't have balconies, which it's crazy to me that how can such good architecture as England had, with amazing castles and stuff, but they didn't have balconies? Takes place, okay, so now it took place in Capulet Orchard, so, like, I don't remember that scene being in an orchard either. Where Romeo hides and overhears Juliet speaking from a window. Wait, but he talks to her to the window. To the balcony. The visual image of Juliet on a balcony with Romeo below is iconic through, like, they just started doing it for no reason but to look good, apparently, and then everybody thinks it was in there. I'm very, very suspicious of that. Alright, so, yeah. When I saw capybaras were suddenly alive in 2016, I freaked because the animal in... See, there were no capybaras in even extinct for me. There just weren't any. And then there were. That's how it went for me. Now, buffaloes, I thought they went extinct. It was a long time ago, but I really thought that we had... the white man had hunted them to extinction. But now there's, like, herds everywhere. Floridians let their pet birds go free when they don't want them. That's the storyline. I really don't believe it. We have flocks of feral parrots here too, and the storyline for those keeps changing. And this is another reason why I don't trust those feral parrots. So the storyline was that a pet store burnt down and parrots escaped, and maybe some other pet parrots added to it, and they just somehow survived even though they're tropical. And we even had these feral parrots all the way up North California, which is now Central California because of the geology shifts, but where it's freaking cold and they're tropical, and that isn't, it's not even really subtropical. It gets icy, and yet they were there. And then for a while they said, they would just migrate south during the during the cold season. But parrots, it wasn't even a migratory species, so how did they know to migrate south? I mean, like, they just went, it feels a little warmer over there, 3 miles that way feels warmer, we'll go that way. So how would they even know? So the whole thing was weird. So now the story is that they are endemic to northern Mexico, and they've just been sneaking further north. That's the new story. So they aren't totally feral, just wild parrots now. And because whatever. And the colors of them have changed, because they used to just be green parrots, but now they've got red and stuff on them. And always have. So for me, all of this weird Florida escape pets thing where they've got giant snakes and all that, I think is another symptom of the same thing, where it's just like an excuse for having more animals, basically. If Floridians suddenly were encountering hordes of snakes and giant lizards, and they didn't have a narrative to go with it, then people would freak out more. So yeah, that's what they put on the news. I just don't trust any of it. I just think it's, technically it's accurate, because I think whatever official story we've got, that is the accuracy, right? I mean, it's accurate for now, but I don't trust it in that I think that it's going somewhere else. I mean, what do we even say what is accurate when today something's accurate and tomorrow it's an old wives' tale? Free parrots. So yeah, you know, I always used to wonder that when I lived up north. I was like, how are these things surviving? And then they're here too. And then used to be just one flock of them, but now there's many flocks. And Phoenix in summer, but you know, Florida in summer, I don't think it's any better. So I visited there once in summer for a convention, and I just remember thinking that it was a blast furnace if you left the hotel. Even at 9 o'clock at night, it was still freaking hot. But you know, I went to Chicago and it was freaking hot in the summer and all humid and yeah, I think it's just I grew up in Cali. I'm spoiled big baby. It's really going to be hard to compete with Cali. I'm hoping a dinosaur will be living in some remote jungle. You know, so things are showing up that look dinosaur-like, and then they get bigger and bigger. Like, so I think we might be just growing our own dinos, you know, and pretty soon we'll have stuff that looks like the old dinos. Well, I don't know about soon, but. And then maybe the stuff that technically was in the past will get weirder and weirder, like this thing, this whatever. So we'll get the dinos of old into the now, and then the new dinos of old will be even weirder. Florida's hot and humid. Phoenix is just hot. Yeah. Although, I don't know, it seems like maybe Phoenix is more hot. Like, it is not humid, but it makes up for it by cranking up the temperature even higher. I wish dreams were like beautiful heavenly type places. So yeah, that's always been a question of mine. Like, why is it that we have so much negativity in our dreams? It's a very interesting question. And what can we do to maybe, you know, improve on that a little bit? These are still called Juliet balconies by architects. By architects. Architects should know that there were no balconies in England at that time. I mean, that sounds like a tidbit that would be things you would learn in college when you were getting your degree. I called the guy about a job and he said he'd text me the interview details and he just never texts me back. You know, it's just job hunting kind of sucks that way. And I think the more that there's a lot of employees to pick through, like potential employees, the worse it gets. But it's also kind of the breakdown of society, you know? In the old days, they would usually just at least send you a, like, sorry, but we have gone with somebody else kind of, you know, thing. It wasn't really well thought out, but it was a stock letter, but at least you got notified, like, to stop dreaming about that job. You ain't getting it. But nobody, you know, people scream in the stores. Nobody does anything. Nobody, you know, everybody's just kind of less concerned about their fellow man. Like, on average. I won't say every human, but sometimes they're a bit disturbing, but they're often the most interesting. I have, like, the whole range. I've had amazing ones, absolutely horrible ones, like nightmare stuff, and then a lot of, like, in the middle ones. Some of them I'm just like, the same old irritating dream over and over. I'm late. I can't find my locker. I can't find my class. I can't find something. I got distracted. So I don't know if I would say I learned a lot from those, because it's like the same general motif, I think, and just kind of maybe some of the daily phobias or something. I mean, I certainly learned from some of the dreams, but that one's not it. All right, so we have these, like, what are these even? These fat neck, tube neck, creatures are now in the 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. All right, that's that thing. Okay, this one. What is this thing? There. Easy cheesy one. Oh my god, I can't. I think it's 191, 181. It might be 181. I can't even read my crappy writing. All right, easy cheesy found this. So we've seen these weird fish that have like they look like they have like kind of nubby legs. This one has like this weird scrabbly legs. It's called northern sea robin fish. And I'm not going to put the audio on, but he talks like, oh, everybody's favorite fish. And I'm like, what? Don't ever see this. So these are like, they look like little insect legs. So these guys walk along the bottom with their little insect legs. And then apparently they have taste buds on their legs, so that they can taste and smell the food as they walk on it, or something. I don't know. Seems like words just don't fit well with the current reality. But see, look it looks like it has insect legs. It's so creepy. These little legs are like, so they're, what are they calling it? Modified pectoral fins or something. I don't know. Yuck. All right, let me see if I can find another image of it. There wasn't actually a lot of images of this thing. There's its little feet. So it's very insectoid. I wouldn't have thought of that. Like, let's make a fish that has insect legs. Who comes up with these things? That's weird, because I didn't know the cat was in here. Now it's sometimes I swear I let the cat out, and then I hear like chewing behind me, and it's the cat eating food. It's like, I swear I let you out. So I guess there's more of these kinds of these things too. As much as I love sea robins with those big wing-like fins and modified pelvic fin fingers. Okay, whatever. So anyway, the walking fish thing has reached yet another level. Maybe instead of falling asleep, we really fall awake. I think most of the time I am like fogged up in the dream. I don't think most of those. Now, I do have certain ones that seem different, but the average dream, I would say no. Have you seen the movie Stay from 2005? No, I have not. It's like the fish ate a crab and those at the crab legs. Yes. Yes. So that's the northern sea robin. But apparently there are other sea robins too. I had a piranha once. Chomper was his name. But did you have the little sand piranhas? I should jump to the sand. Speaking of piranhas, it's funny that you... All right, let me go straight to the sand piranhas. Where is this? Yes. Okay, who found the sand piranhas? We're all out of order now. That was found. I'm pretty sure Jackie found those. You found those, right? Because like I had failed to write it down, but I know I didn't find it. Sand piranhas. And this is like a personal insult to me with these sand piranhas because they look like sow bugs. And as a kid, I always liked sow bugs. I think I've said on here that I really liked sow bugs and pill bugs. And I've even said that when the giant sow bugs showed up, we made a joke that they were whale ticks. My friend freaked out when she saw them, and she said they're giant whale ticks. Now, we know that they are not actually ticks of whales, but that is now our one of, you know, when you have a friend for a long time, you have your million little joke words and things. And so those are forever will be whale ticks. So I like sow bugs. We have another large Mandela sow bug that we call whale ticks. And now apparently we have actual tick-like sow bugs. And it's these. They are a member of that similar clad of beasts. And they are sand piranhas. So they're about a third of an inch, so they're not that big, but apparently they can bite really hard. And when they bite, it feels like a razor blade has slashed your skin, and it stings and hurts for 20 minutes. Now, I can't see anything about them being poisonous, so I'm not sure why it would hurt for 20 minutes. It just seems to me like it probably shouldn't hurt that long, but it does. So they feed on like whatever, carcasses and detritus, but if you walk through them, they'll feed on your feet, okay? Can occasionally vigorously bite and chew on the skin of beach-going humans and other animals. And sometimes there'll be like 1,000 of them in one place. So if you walk through a spot where they were all congregating, you can actually have some serious problems. Now, here's the thing. This is the tiniest little stinky little wiki for this. These things are everywhere. They're like, okay, so what? From Japan, let's see. Native to warm, tropical, and subtropical shallow waters of the Pacific coast, from Japan and Korea to South China in the west, and from the Pacific Northwest to Choco, Colombia in the east. Okay, so they're freaking everywhere. And we have these in San Diego, it turns out. Disgusting little monsters. Lives year-round in beaches in Mission Bay and De Anza Cove in San Diego. Both places I've been. I really feel confident that if they had sand piranhas around here, I would know about it, but vigorously bite and chew on skin of beach-going humans. So they're not just like because you're food to them. So can you imagine you like walk through a horde of these things? You get every one of them leaves a razor blade bite that stings and bleeds for 20 minutes. Like, Lord, this is so wrong. Waterline isopods. So that's that clod of creatures that has got the sow bugs. Waterline, commonly known as waterline isopods, are mini sharks. This is interesting because the AI actually knows more than the wiki now. I mean, like, we just given up. The wiki people have just rolled over and died. At least they could copy it from the AI or something. They are scavengers that feed on dead fish, but can bite humans. Particularly when people walk into the water with their feet exposed, which is like all the time. The bites are described as painful. See, I think I was asking about, in San Diego. Experts emphasize that these are a natural part of the marine ecosystem. Well, I guess they are now. Don't worry, they're not known to cause diseases. I mean, I'm being attacked by mini piranhas, but don't worry, you're not going to get a disease. Oh, now I'm not worried. Although they are not dangerous, their bites can be a nuisance. Yeah, it's a razor blade slash that bleeds for 20 minutes. In rare cases, large swarms have caused significant bleeding. Okay, so there's another thing that happened years ago that I said I thought was a Mandela because it was so creepy. And it was this guy. I'm almost afraid to put it on now because it's so gross. I'm not 100% if the YouTube will tolerate it. But basically, years ago, I think it was Australia, right? Yeah. So years ago, there was a story that some kid had his feet dangling in the water and he was holding still. And then when he pulled his feet out of the water, there was blood all over his feet. And then it was like, oh my God, what did this? And there was no answer then for years. Like, it must have been some little somethings like predators or little creatures were biting him, maybe because he wasn't moving his feet. You know, they didn't know or whatever. But now they have always known for a long time that it was a relative of these things. So there's more than one mini piranha in the ocean. You know, the regular piranhas, last I checked, are only in tropical inland freshwaters, but now we have... So this is the other one. Now, the other reason I hesitate to show this image is because it has definitely gotten worse over time. Before, there was some thin blood that looked like it was mixed with water on his feet, and it was still gross, but it didn't look like it was bubbling out. Like, I don't know how you could have, I'll just shoot by, that happening to you without, you know, noticing that your feet did not feel good. So the story now is, oh, he was in cold water and he must have gotten his feet all numb. And they don't normally attack humans. It's just an unfortunate coincidence. Coincidence is, I don't think, the word that we want. I think it's more like, you know, accident or something. So it was amphipods, related to shrimp and prawns, but smaller, right? 6 to 13 millimeters. So that's kind of similar size as those. 13 millimeters. Let's see. 13. Oh, actually, they're pretty big, huh? Those are even bigger than the piranha. Okay, 13 millimeters. So that's like a little over half an inch. It's like that big. So, I mean, how are you going to have all, like, a bunch of things like that? All of your feet biting you like that. You don't even notice. They don't normally attack humans. I don't think he actually felt them biting. Like, you don't think so? Like, yeah, I think if he felt them biting, he might have done something sooner. I mean, the original story was he just was, like, ready to leave, and that's why he pulled his feet in, and then he saw it. So this whole time, he didn't notice. The other thing is, I think the story might have changed because I thought he was sitting, like, on the docks dangling his feet. But now I guess he was standing in shallow water. He wasn't sitting on the dock dangling his feet. And I'm quite sure he was sitting on the dock dangling his feet. Small scavenging crustacean that usually feed on dead fish. Meat-loving creatures that... So there, see, there's like they're in there, the little monsters. Let me look. Probably should check and see what these things... That's 8 years ago. 8 years ago, they already knew what those little monsters were. They didn't. I've looked at this one multiple times, and they did not have an answer. I think because the Mandela hadn't made them yet. So, amphipods. Let me see. Which one of them is it? Oh, there's a million kinds. I guess they look somewhat like that. Little shrimps. Ugh. You know, in my old timeline, little stuff like that, they just didn't have enough mouth power to really chomp a person. And in this timeline, even like little insects can really let you have it. Gross little things. Anyway, I'm not real happy about this. Vampire bat saliva is supposed to have a numbing effect too, so they can bite a cow leg without getting stomped. That has been a narrative for a while, yes. Went to ER like 3 times this year with severe asthma attacks. Yeah, that's a whole weird... I had asthma my whole life, and then I gave up wheat, and I got rid of it. But I wouldn't say I was totally healthy after that. And lately, I've been, like, trying all these different vitamins. The fact that I can get them free on Vine makes me more eager to try them, because I don't have to pay $25 for a vitamin and then taste 3 of them and decide they're not helping or something. I've gotten like a list of ones that help, and B1 glycine, more iron, and more potassium have all been really super useful. And I'm definitely feeling better. And here's what's weird is that I've been eating wheat rather liberally for a few weeks now, and I have not had any of the side effects. So I'm wondering if maybe it just exasperated like an existing problem, and now that I've solved the problem, I don't know, or maybe it was 20 shifts later and that's why. But like, so I'm not getting asthma, and I used to get this back pain when I ate wheat, and I haven't gotten that, so I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on it, but I really do wonder if we're going to find out. Oh, the other thing is folate versus folic acid. They always say, oh, folic acid is fine, but folic acid is totally unnatural. And apparently in the current timeline, 60% of people cannot properly process folic acid into folate. So you probably should just get folate only as your supplement and not folic acid. The folic acid apparently can build up in your system unprocessed and actually block your body's functionality of the actual folate it needs, so it's actually worse than nothing if that happens. That's the current storyline. I don't know. So I would have said before that I wasn't totally cured, because if I ate wheat again, it would come back. Like, if I ate wheat 3 days in a row, I would see the beginnings of the symptoms, just like a little asthma, a little sneezing. It's not happening now. So I don't know, what was it, the folate? Because, wheat has folic acid supplement in it. And so maybe if I already had too much folic acid and I ate the wheat. And there's another weird thing, that brominated stuff they do, that maybe if you're don't have enough glycine to process that, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. I've been taking B12 gummies, which sometimes gives me a bit more energy. So I guess some people can't like properly methylate certain Bs, and so you should eat the methylated form. The trick with the so I get one vitamin I need, it works for a while, but then you just run out of the next vitamin you're low on, and so then you have to figure out which one that is, and then once you get them all that you're low, then I think you feel a lot better. It has been working. I have been feeling better. So you know what? I didn't get this cat. This cat got me. This cat showed up, and it keeps showing up, and now there's a cat. I don't know what to say about this cat. Cats just want a cardboard box and some string. Cat food also really helps. I was feeding them like table scraps because I was eating, oh, you want some? And finally I just knuckled down and bought some cat food. Yeah, it was the cat distribution. One of them came in here. I said, here, you want some of my sandwich? And then the next day he came back and I said, here, you want some of my steak? And then the third day he came back with a bunch of friends. Well, the first time he came back with one friend who was feral and skittish. And I gave them both some snack. And then like another time soon after, he came back with his feral friend and like 4 feral kittens. And that's how... There was a time when there were 8 cats in here. Let me just put it that way. 8 freaking cats. So I started taming the little bastards because I'm feral cats. Okay. I learned a lot about cat taming. And a bunch of those kittens got adopted out because it's pretty fast to tame kittens. I tamed a bunch of the kittens. I tamed the one that hangs out in here all the time. I tamed her. She was the easiest. And the first one that came in was already tame. And the neighbor has decided he's going to somewhat own that one. And one of the kittens, I call him the crab cat because he is just kind of a jerk. I don't know if that guy will ever make a good pet. He is just, I think there's something wrong with his brain. He's really dumb too. Like, he can't remember anything. Like, every day I open the door for him, I'm above the door as I open it. You know, like I'm standing there opening it, right? Every time. But every time I do that, he looks ahead and thinks the door is magically opening. And then he's all, wow, the door opened. And then slowly he looks up and realizes I'm there and then gets scared. Because he cannot remember the other 100,000 times the same thing happened. So yeah, that poor guy, I think he just did not get enough, like, brain cells. Yep, so I got this one, and there's another feral that was very hard to tame, but he's come a long way, and he comes in here sometimes. And then the black one, and almost all the kittens were adopted out. So there's not 8 cats in here anymore. Those two are sometimes. The one is in here all the time. Well, all the time, but in a lot. All right, so we got the insect legs fish. All right, this one. Who found this one? Oh my God, I'm running out of brain cells. Speaking of running out of brain cells, who did the? I'm pretty sure this was Jackie. Oh, there. Yeah, Jackie. Human cells emit biophotons. So I've had on before that there was a story, like a narrative, that they discovered that humans emit a very small amount of light. But it looks like now the story has kind of upgraded, and now they're like, cells emit biophotons that interact apparently with other cells, and it seems to be related to the amount of cellular respiration activity. Let's see. The emissions increase during neural activity and appear to correlate with brainwave patterns measured by EEG. I wish I had a little more detail on that. I really haven't been able. I don't know if it's like written in the Mandela yet, the details, because what does it mean correlate with brain? Like, does they mean like more brainwave activity? But they said patterns. They didn't say activity. So like, which patterns makes more biophotons then? It doesn't really say. You'd think they'd say, oh, theta makes more or something, but nope. The connection to mental health becomes compelling. The conditions like depression and anxieties, these disorders are consistently linked to oxidative stress. Interesting. I had that theory, but I have not really heard about that. So, like them making them, that they made this link. So oxidative stress is when your mitochondria process food and oxygen into energy, and that's basically a burning of the calories, and a burning is oxidation. So like, it's almost like when there's a fire, when you burn a fire and then it's oxidated, right? So it leaves a waste product. Oxidation leaves a highly reactive waste product, and your body then has anti-inflammatories that neutralize that oxidative waste product. And the two main ones that it really loves is vitamin E and vitamin C. Vitamin E does the areas that are oil-based, and C does the areas that are water-based, like in the blood and stuff. So you never want to be low on either of those. And that's also, a lot of people are low, especially on E. It's very easy to be low on E, and you will have more oxidative stress. It damages every cell. Very no bueno. Okay, so they're saying it's the light is linked to oxidative stress. So that's tricky, though, because when you're more active, your brain's more active, you're exercising, you also make more oxidative stress because you're burning more fuel. And it's fine as long as you have enough anti-inflammatories like E and C to clean up the oxidative stress. So when they're saying it's linked to oxidative stress, do they mean it's linked to more activity of the cells, or are they saying that it is linked to a lack of anti-inflammatories functioning properly in the cells? They do not clarify it all here. Well, they do say imbalance between the level of harmful reactive oxygen species and the antioxidants that neutralize them. Okay. So then, all right. So that's an interesting thing for the biophotons to be linked with. They would be bad in this case then if you have an imbalance with too much ROS, with too much reactive oxygen species. You kind of think that biophotons are going to be like this holy, beautiful thing, but at least with this narrative, it actually would be bad. So I kind of looked into this, and some places are saying, oh, well, we know it's the cells, and maybe it's the DNA, and then maybe it's the mitochondria. This one seems to lean on the mitochondria story. But I'm not really sure that it's stable in the timeline about the answers of that. Did they change with emotions? Okay. Speculative. It doesn't look like this is written out in the Mandela officialness too much yet. All right. These glowworms. We've had these on before. What's interesting is not only did I not have magic glowing caves in my original timeline, we do now. These worms make this slimy glowing substance that makes it like, I don't know, it makes the caves glow. So here's the inside of, I believe that is, okay, so originally they were only inside caves, okay, but what is neat now is this is the first time I've seen that they are outside the cave. They don't have to be in the perfect cave environment. They are freaking everywhere, and here now if it's, the glowworms at Manga Po Hui Natural Bridge are some of the best we've seen outside of a cave environment. Viewing them in a cave is always preferable because it's pitch black, allowing your eyes to fully adjust. Now, in my old timeline, it could get pitch black outside too, but here the skies are kind of glowy, and that doesn't really happen. Hundreds and hundreds of glowworms cover a vast area of damp, ferny cliff, and even hide on the underside of the arch which towers above the gorge. So this is them actually outside the cave now. It's a spectacular sight and feels like you've stepped into a fairy tale. It's also very easy access, taking less than 5 minutes along a well-maintained flat path. Okay, so that's outside. I think this might also, it does look like that's outside also. So I think these are inside cave images. I'm kind of confused here because it almost looks like there's an additional light on in the middle of these. Did they, like, how does that work? Let me see. See, it looks like there's lights in this cave, and then the glowworms are like, is that what we're doing now? I'm confused by the brightness of the centers here. Or is the camera just confused? Seems a little straight. I just haven't seen it really look like that in the past images. You didn't see a bright speck in the middle before. It looks like all of them are like that. Just realized that thousands of glowworms line the cliff from top to bottom as the cliff wall bends round like it's been a partial glow. Okay, so I think this and this are the same, right? You also find them lining creek banks and nestled in the base of old tree trunks as well as at the second waterfall. Okay. Cascade Falls. Up with the best of the non-cave glowworm dells in the country. Alright, so this is also a non-cave dell. I think these are cave. Northland. This is, what's that country next to Australia again? Look at that. So I think this is really upgraded. They weren't this bright before. New Zealand, that's the word. There weren't this many of them. Again, you can see here, there's like a extra center brightness. So did they get bright enough that they're altering the camera, or what's the deal here? So glowworms are coming. And I wonder if they have any. Where in the world are glowworms? What parts of the world have glowworms? So they call it glowworms, but apparently they're like the larval stage of some gnats. So you can't really have pet glowworms. You could have pet gnats that sometimes lay larvae. Larval stage of fungus gnats. Fungus gnats. Would they eat fungus? Oh, there's more than one species, known as Arachnocampa luminosa, and other related species. In New Zealand, they inhabit caves like Waitomo and Lake Matheson, as well as forested areas. Australia hosts several places, including those in Great Otway National Park, Springbrook National Park, and the disused railway tunnel at Nunes Plateau. In North America, the species Ophelia fultoni, known as dismalites, can be found in Alabama's Dismals Canyon. So we have it in Alabama now. Okay, I'm quite sure we didn't have these in the United States before. Oh, they have them in the UK. Europe, and particularly the UK. Another species inhabits chalk grasslands, hedgerows, and woodland rides. Glowworms also occur in parts of Asia and even in more temperate regions like lowland Scotland and Wales. Okay, so they're everywhere. Does California have glowworms? Glowworms. I think I needed another W, but... Oh, we have them now! Bioluminescent female stage of certain firefly species. Oh, okay. The most well-known example is the California pink glowworm. No. This species is found in coastal areas of California in the oak woodlands. What? The adult females are pink, flightless, and emit a soft glow from the ground. Those aren't worms, though, are they? Another species. I think these, I don't think those are glowworms. I think those are fireflies. Okay, well, it's called glowworm. Let's see what this one says. Oh, that's a worm. Sierra Foothill Vacation Rental Home. Went out on the back deck. I noticed small bright green light appear on the deck. It was surprised to see my first California bioluminescent bug. This was a delightful discovery. Females of this species never morph into winged firefly beetles, but morph instead into larviform reproductive adults. Not really worms at all. The female pink glowworm is not a blinking firefly, but rather shines forth with a bright, steady neon green glow. Look for the light of pink glowworms within our foothills during the spring and summer. All right, so I should have seen these because they're all... Okay, yeah. All right, that's all around here, basically. Conserving the jewels of the night. So these aren't these like slimy, blobby, hangy things. We have pink. Ah, they look fake. Oh. I swear that looked like they photoshopped it on, but I did have that there was like these almost extinct fireflies in Cali last time I checked, like 2 years ago or something. So apparently they're expanding. Ugh, gotta sign up. California fireflies. California is home to 18 species, soon to be 19. Florida has 56 species. Okay, so when they say glowworm, it could be anything. It could be larva form, whatever's, I guess. So I've definitely noticed and heard that the East Coast fireflies have sort of diminished greatly, but I think they will be back. And what usually happens in my experience is that when something comes back after a long absence, it's substantially different than it was before. So keep an eye when they do come back. Apparently, in Victorian times, ladies would wear insects as jewelry. So, that was that's one thing that kind of freaked me out because, about 15 years ago, I heard that they did that here in the 60s in California. They had, what was it, a bug that they would, what was the bug? I think they use it as earrings or something. It would pinch on and they would just use it as earrings. So it's the lightning bugs are fireflies, right? I mean, that's what I always call them. They're another word for the same things. You have stink bugs. So there's ones here they say are stink bugs. I've never smelled any stink from them. They put their butt up. They're like these big beetles. Everybody says they're stink bugs. I looked them up. They said they're stink bugs, but I've never smelled a stink. So I've asked other people, any stink? Nope, they've never experienced any stink. So I don't know what's going on with them. It's like the no-see-ums, these little gnats. Used to be harmless. Now they say they bite. They don't bite me. I still have the old style no-see-ums that don't bite. I think I have stink bugs without stink. I mean, I've even heard people complaining about how the no-see-ums bit them up. I don't know. I mean, like, I just walk through swarms, knock on wood, and I taste bad. I don't know. All right, where are we here? Okay. This is going to make it tricky because I wanted to know if we had the dangly hanging in one place so you could go visit style glowworms like they have in New Zealand. But now when you type in glowworms, you just get like everything but the kitchen sink. So Let's see if does California have cave glowworms. Let's try that. Does California have cave glowworms? Now, there originally, for me, there was only one species of firefly on the East Coast. That was it. California does not have cave-dwelling glowworms like those found in New Zealand. Or in Dismal's Canyon, which is located in Arkansas. So Arkansas has it. Okay, so we just have the pink firefly larva form non-flying firefly thingies. I think we'll get these, though, eventually. It's just a matter of time. There was only a few caves that had these, and now they're out of the caves. They spread across a bunch of parts of the world. Okay, so I think this was Jackie that put these up. She was saying something about not remembering any of these So this species, these Gen 2 penguins, which didn't exist in my old timeline, one of their things they do is they give gifts of pebbles. So she was like, is this an AI or is that thing really giving a gift of pebbles? That is the official narrative for this timeline. But what struck me was last time I saw Gen 2s, they didn't have like this crown of white on them that they do now. So when I was looking at the video of them giving the pebble, I very much noticed that their heads have changed. They started out with just like side streaks. But now, and you can see it's kind of like feather, pardon the pun, feather pattern, feathered off. So you got the crown, but I'm wondering if we're going to get maybe some streaks, because you can see how it kind of flecks off here. Something's going on with this. So you're going to get polka dots. I'm not sure how that's coming down the chute, but see, it's all speckly on the black. Definitely a different look. The other thing is that the wings they're like white underneath and black on the top. I don't think that was so much a thing before either. So is that Gen 2 also? I don't think that's Gen 2. Oh, I think that's AI. That's the thing. It's AI. That's why it's off. Let me look at it. Is that what we're going to get later? I'm wondering if AI is foreshadowing. I'm kind of grateful that AI still sucks a little. I can at least kind of... This just still sucks enough for me to ID it most of the time. Alright. This thing... Oh, is this another Jackie one? I think that most of these are. Yeah, Jackie saw this thing. And it's like a crab eating a chip. But what kind of got me was just the mouth parts. I just realized that the mouth parts on these crabs have gotten really strange. When I was a kid, we had crabs sometimes. Like, I had some little pet crabs in the aquarium. And I just don't remember. I mean, like, this thing looks like, I don't know what it looks like. But the mouth parts are just weird on these. Let me take the sound off. Oh, I don't know what's going on. There's like these things, and then there's this other like thing that comes out, and then like, how is it eating? So it looks like there's like, like, I don't know, that looks like spider pedipalps or something here, and then there looks like there's little mini pinchers there, or it's like something out of Stuff of Nightmares. So when it's eating, it's got these little hands all around its mouth that are all like... It almost looks to me like in the old days when they had those, the Muppets, you know, so that you'd see parts move, but it didn't really quite 100% make sense. Like when they pretended to eat, they would just go, you know, but they weren't really eating. This is what this looks like. I mean, I see stuff moving around, but I don't really get how that results in ingestion of food. Because, see, it looks like there's this, and there is like some kind of a mouth orifice back there as well. So, I mean, I don't remember there being like hands and pinchies and stuff all in front of the crab's mouth. I mean, they just would take things and then they would eat it. They wouldn't be like, ugh, it's creepy. So you can see something in there flicking around, and it's under this thing. This thing moves, and then there's that thing, and then these things, and then, I mean, it's like one of those robots out of Star Wars, you know, like with all little pinchy things. I feel like I should hear like little clacky metal noises or something. Yeah, I know. They didn't give it because they were just stupid birds. That's why they didn't give gifts and stuff. Everything is crazy now. They didn't originally. They didn't give gifts. That would be kind of cool if they gave pearls. Maybe we'll get back to that. I have never been in the pearl timeline, but they also, for me, like, they were only in the snow. They didn't build nests out of piles of rocks. They didn't steal rocks from the other guy's nest. They didn't live in the deserts and on the rocks and all this crap. just crazy. Where did they get? I assume they would get pearls from their food, like, because if you eat clams, you would sometimes find pearls. I assume those things eat clams. Alright, here's the sand piranhas. This is where they live, right where you like to walk.
Over.
No, we don't need that. They stay in a band about the width of a car. Okay, whatever. Anyways, creepy. I don't even remember saving this one, actually. Okay, there they are. The sand piranhas. That's right. I remember now. Okay, so here's a sand piranha. And that's somebody's flesh. I assume it's a foot. And he's biting it. And now blood's coming out. And I guess this guy, I hope he's getting paid well for being a sucker. So there's one here, and then there's one here, chomping away at this guy's body parts. I don't know what that one is. I think it's a worm, but... Sand piranhas travel up and down the beaches as the tides change. There's a whole bunch of them. So, like, be careful now when you see a dead animal because sand piranhas. You know, if I saw that, I really would not think little tiny shrimp were going to bite the crap out of me. Then they burrow down in there. There's all kinds of creepy crap in the sand now. I think I'm going to be more likely to wear, like, flip-flops or something than I did in the old timelines. See, where are we here? Yeah, we did that one. You saw that. Okay. Now, speaking of creepy critters, now it's Mr. Krabs. Okay. Now, Jackie may think that I don't, and I really don't watch a ton of this kind of stuff, but I have seen Mr. Krabs, and there's something wrong here with Mr. Krabs. I'm quite sure I have not seen this Mr. Krabs. Boy, there's a lot wrong with him. He was, this thing was a lot different. I don't know if any of you watch this kind of shows like all the parts except for one that I could think of. Jackie thinks there's other things that are also weird. Wait, that's not going to show it. Let's see what else here. Some of these are non-standard, but there. Jackie was saying something about all the clothes. She thought there was something weird about the belt. One thing is, I don't remember they just showed the belt, but I don't remember them showing like the loops of the pants that would have encased the belt. So I don't remember these cut slashes here. Okay. I don't remember them doing the zipper. That just looks bizarre to me. I mean, who even does that? It's a cheap cartoon. You're putting in the zipper and everything. Which is kind of creepy. I've just never even seen a cartoon where they bothered to put in the zipper for the pants. But the most obvious one is like one that we have seen on so many cartoons, which is green eye, like the green whites of the eye. The whites of the eye used to be white. Somewhere a couple, like, well, it was like 5 or 6 years ago, a whole bunch of the cartoons started getting colored whites. So I don't know, is this like an indication that we're all going to get colored whites? Like, that would be kind of cool if I had like the green in the middle and then like some other color on the edge or something. Hopefully they would be complementary. But I guess there's no reason that whites have to be white. So maybe that's an foreshadowing that they're not going to be, because even these newer characters now are Mandela into colored whites. I mean, in my old timeline, you wouldn't even think to color those because they're white, like it's a creature. It has white. Why would you? All right. So those are, and the other thing that Jackie noticed, which I agree, is that, the back of Mr. Crab, he's got like these serrated edges now. And I don't remember those being there. See, it's all bumpy here. Bump, bump, bump. I don't remember that. All of them, it's on all of them, so it's a thing. I don't know, you guys notice anything else? The final thing, though, I really, and I don't know what these are. I've never seen this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that thing is that's coming out of the nose. I have never seen that before. I'm sure that there's some kind of lore that it is supposed to be like that. I don't know what that is. Neon aqua glowing eyes. I vote for aqua. So, like, I have green eyes. So, yeah, let me see. Blue would look good. What goes good with green? I think one of the things we just have to realize, especially now, is that a lot of us all just come from different timelines. We've just migrated here from our original timeline. It's sort of like how everybody that lives in Los Angeles, a lot of them came from somewhere else. Like one guy came from Arizona, and one guy came from New York, and one guy came from Japan, and one guy came from Canada. And so when you're talking to people in Los Angeles, you say, well, where I came from, it was snowy. And then someone else goes, nuh-uh, where I came from, it was sandy. And it's like they're not mutually exclusive. And I think that's how timelines are. Like, one person says they used to give pearls, and then someone else goes, nuh-uh, they only ever gave rocks. Well, you're all from different places. That's the only way that makes sense to me. Yeah, he didn't have green eyes. So that's why I don't argue with it. There's no way to really know if somebody's remembering wrong or they just came from another timeline. So I'm just not going to argue with them. Does it really even matter? We know the Mandela is a legit thing. So I'm not going to spend my time trying to second guess if that person is remembering wrong or not, because there's just no way for me to do that. There's no way for me to figure that out, because it's all just memory in the end. His eyelashes. I was wondering about the eyelashes, but I don't remember ever discussing the eyelashes. The eyelashes. I was afraid to say it because I just wasn't sure. Let me get rid of this other garbage. Doink, doink. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking about the eyelashes. I'm like, I don't know about the eyelashes. Okay, thanks for saying it. Because it looks really weird to me. I'm like, crabs, they don't have the eyelashes on the end of their... Okay, well, whatever. It's not like this thing exists anyway. Christ the Redeemer statue. The mushroom head was red with white dots. He didn't have eyelashes and red one. I just don't remember those spikes in the back. I just remember red and white eyes. Whites. No eyelashes. The pants were just plain. I'm really suspicious about this yellow belt buckle, but I'm not 100%. I agree the shirt, I don't know. Wasn't it like some other color besides blue? I don't know. There's something just... Ugh. There's a lot of things that are wrong, but the green, like, is too much punching me in the face to really look at the rest. It was posted to Reddit years ago. The new huge statue in Brazil. What the heck is that? Brazil's record-breaking statue of Mary. You know, I don't want to be mean, but a lot of these new statues just are not to my taste at all. How tall is 51 meters? Okay, well, I don't know. There's a new statue every 5 seconds. Lady of Fatima. Maybe these will improve with time, like magically. They'll be like really nice in like 10 years. All right, let's look at this Christ the Redeemer statue. I got a half hour. I haven't really looked at that in a while. The bottom changed, and last time I looked at it, I didn't really notice anything. I might notice something now. Okay. I do kind of notice something. Interesting. So, oops, there've been a lot of changes in the past. I don't notice. So this thing showed up. The size keeps changing. It got small for a while. Looks like it's pretty big again. I don't know what these black things are. Is that birds or something? This area, I think, might have changed. Didn't there used to be more of like a... I don't remember this round thing down here. I thought you kind of... I don't remember this part. I remember steps, but they didn't look anything like this. Huh. This might be taller than I saw it before. It looked like it was just big enough for like a church before, but now it... Huh. That might have grown. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got big again. Yeah. So this thing was only even, maybe not even half that size, this black thing. And this black thing grew a little lip up here now. I don't know what's going on with these squares. Is that the inside of the statue showing through? I'm not sure. Oh, there's 2 black dots there now. I don't know what those are. Up, 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 up. I think I say feet. It was not feet. Do I see feet? That is, no. There was not feet. That was not there. There was not bumps for feet. I think there is bumps for feet now. Feet. This is tricky because some of these from the downside you wouldn't quite see the feet, but I'm pretty sure there was no feet. See that? They're weird feet because they're like feet that look a lot like the lines from the from the skirt. It's like they're differentiating themselves out from the skirt part. They're growing out from the skirt. The skirt is growing into feet. I would assume then that they would eventually... What the heck is this? Okay, wait. What are those spiky things on the top? What is that? Wait. Did not have spiky things on the head. Wait, why is there a cross right there? Is it somebody scraped a cross into it? That was not there. The heart is not heart-shaped anymore. It was. Now it looks... What is going on? Okay, there has been some changes on this guy. When that heart first showed up, they said it was only on the inside when you walked up through the stairs. Then it showed up on the outside. But it used to look like a heart. Now it looks like, I don't know, a peach. How can you do that good a job on the face and then have that? And I don't think that was there. The other thing I want to say is I feel like the face is just better quality now than it was. But it really reminds me a ton of that... What's that, now it's called I Pet Goat 2, the cartoon. He looks a lot more like that cartoon. Like, a lot. In fact, I just, before when I saw the cartoon of the Jesus, I never really, in my mind, connected it with Christ the Redeemer, but now I do, because looking at this face reminds me of I Pet Goat 2. And I just feel like the face is, like, upgraded. Now, does it always have them spiky things on the head? Because I've never seen those before. They're not on here. Is that even it? Because it looks... I wonder if this is AI, because the heart looks split on that one. Is that even legit? Maybe it's not. Something is not... Wait a minute, freaking AI. Okay, it doesn't look split in the other images. It's like when AI hallucinates and says the wrong thing. I kind of wonder if it's like seeing other timelines. There does seem to be an anomaly here, just the same as that AI, though. It's getting so complicated with you can't trust images anymore because they could be faked so easily. The other thing I wanted to say I really noticed was there's this big fold of clothing here that bulges out kind of weirdly. I don't remember that last time I looked. It used to lay down more. It was a little more simple, like the drapes have kind of they're a little bit more 3D now. See, it does look like there's some kind of a weird anomaly here. Right there. What is that? Here. Is that where he's what, like, got poked with the... Oh, maybe that's where he got poked with the sphere or something? I don't think that was on there before, though. Oh. Oh, look at how dark it is on that one. Okay, so it's just a little down from the heart. You just can't, I can't see what that is. There's not really... Let me see if there's any info on the wiki. Art Deco style sculpture. Largest Art Deco style. Interesting. Art Deco. I think that thing has upgraded quite a bit. Wait, wasn't there some kind of storyline where there was these weird tiles on it? Does it still have the tiles? Remember it got weird tiles? I think the tiles are gone now. Let's see. Lightning struck during a violent thunderstorm, causing damage to the fingers, blah, blah. Restoration efforts to replace the outer soapstone layers and repair lightning rods. Oh, them things on the head are lightning rods. That was in 2008, though? Replacing the mortar and soapstone on the exterior, restoring iron in the internal... Oh, so it doesn't have it. Okay, I think the tiles timeline is gone. That's what it is. It had those tiles for a while, and I'm seeing it doesn't now. "100 people and used more than 60,000 pieces of stone taken from the same quarry as the original statue. Yeah, there's nothing about the tiles. Doesn't say anything about that thing on the scratched up area on the side. That might not be fully in the timeline. I'm trying to get a close-up now. So it's hard to get close because this thing is so tall now. Okay, here. Is that really it? Yeah, see, there's... Oh, maybe there's some tiny tiles? Maybe they're, like, really tiny? No. Wait, where is it? Not there. Here. Oh. Maybe they're there, but they're much smaller? That could be it. I think maybe they're fine. So before there was like these even squares of tiles. Now I don't know what's going on here with all these million random triangles. I don't know what this is. It's like he's got a crack on his mouth here. This is a whole nother thing going on. I mean, if they're not tiles, what are they? Okay, so I think that's why it looks better. So for me, before, this looked like kind of a really low grade plastic, kind of like a little bit like a unskilled artist, okay? It was just kind of big, but it was just kind of not that good of quality. Like sort of like the statues I was complaining about recently, that new tall one. I was like, it's not very good. Then it kind of looked better with tiles, but now it looks way better. I mean, it looks much more artistic and nice. So I feel like this has upgraded itself. This is a nicer look than the giant square tiles or rectangle tiles that were there before. So that's why one of the things I was kind of saying with those new ones that are the tallest this and that, they look really kind of low rent to me, and maybe it'll eventually upgrade to be like this guy. Is that even the original statue? I'm pretty see, I'm telling you. Um I'm telling you, it doesn't look the same. Vivian, you have exemplified my feelings on this. The quality is a lot better, but it doesn't look... See how that's kind of tacky? That's more like how it was. This is like bad, like kind of like, you know how when you plaster a house, like a house has the plaster, and then the edges are kind of rough and they're kind of a little bit lumpy, and they're just not very good, you know? See how that that was more of the feeling of it with this and now it just looks like a much better work of art. But then you get down here to this heart thing, and it's not even a heart, and this is all... I don't know what happened. Like, it's like some idiot did those, and then some real good artist did those. Like, if I was gonna do art, I might not even suck this bad. I'm not an artist, so... All right, I gotta see what's going on with this. What is going on with it? I'm assuming this isn't... They didn't actually do this. Yeah, it is much better quality. Brazil has a towering new... Okay, so this is a new one. New statue of Jesus. Maybe. Oh. Okay, so this... Protective Christ... Oh, this is freaking sneaky. Okay, so now they have... This is definitely not the one I saw before, but it has more of that, like... even the one, the Christ the Redeemer, wasn't quite this good for me, even. I mean, it was... This is still better, but... New... So how big is this new one? So now they're going to have two almost identical ones. That's not going to be confusing at all. Rivals the height of Rio de Janeiro's famous Christ the Redeemer. Okay, so, but this one is, Encantado has it. Recent drones show it looks more or less finished. 141 feet tall. Yeah, that's not going to be confusing. I'm quite sure this is not the one that I saw, though, because this is very obvious here with this weird... Whatever the heck is going on. So for me, for a while I was in a timeline where it had tiles, and I'm like, this is a Mandela, it didn't have tiles. Well, now I'm sure it's a Mandela because the tiles are gone again, or now it's got those triangle indents. I don't know what that... You saw them, right? I don't know. What is that? Those triangle patternings. It doesn't say anything about tiles now, though. Before, when I went to the wiki, it said that it's covered in these protective tiles as the top coat. They cut. Yeah, he does look way more effeminate, like androgynous now. The face is real thin, like that cartoon. He looks like I. Let me find the I Pet Goat cartoon. Hold on. Now it's bugging me. I Pet Goat 2. I'm just waiting for I Pet Goat 1 to show up. Because, well, it is fatter, and he does have a fat head. Let's see. Alright, so it's that. Yeah, okay, it is fatter. You know, now that I'm looking at that, I don't know why I thought it looked that. It kind of does, but not as much as I, in my head, saw. Unless this one changed as well, which wouldn't totally shock me, but... I don't remember him being so yellow in this one, actually. Why did he get so yellow? Google. They couldn't have a white Jesus, so they had to make him like... Look at how yellow. He's almost green. What the heck? He wasn't freaking green. This guy's green, too. What's going on here? What the heck? This girl had giant green eyeshadow? I don't really... I'm going to have to watch that thing again. I have noticed subtle changes to I Pet Goat over time, too. But I'm sure there's more that I didn't notice, but I have noticed some. I definitely don't remember him being, like, yellow, greenish yellow. He has a W-shaped chin. Oh, yeah, you're right. He did not have that. I think it's the beard that is supposed to be a beard cut, but you're right. It didn't have. It's like he's been mewing, as the Gen Alpha says. Yeah, you're right. It didn't have that. That better be the beard, because if that was the whole chin, that would be freaking scary. But it's kind of a point, because this hair is clearly delineated nicely, but the beard does not have, like, lines to indicate that it's hair, which is actually kind of weird. The mustache has lines to indicate it's hair. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, it is weird. They should put some, like, scrapey lines on there. Maybe it's not done formulating in the Mandela yet or something. Which might be why I can't find a decent close-up. Oh, that one. See, that was the one I didn't trust. Let me just open this one. Open. Image a new tab. I thought this one might be an ME, because only in this one can you really see these swirls. There's a cut line in the heart, which none of the others showed. And then there's this... The scratchies did show in some of the others, but... I mean, but maybe this is a drone one, but I just don't get, like... So what is it? That the swirls are only visible from the top? How can there be a cut line here and not see it anywhere else? So, you can see the feet really good. Alright, I'm trying to look at these, like, it's like there's people here, but there's not. If you really look at just a mishmash of almost people. So I think this might be AI, because when you really look at that, you can't really determine where the head are and where the feet are. And so I'm not going to trust this one. The stuff back here looks a little wonky too. Some of it's sort of... You know, every now and then I swear something's an AI and then I find out that it's real. So, okay, so here, this one I believe is the real background. See, and like, what's this? So maybe they fed it into, like, maybe they fed an image into the AI and said, what does it look like from the top? And the AI also felt like that must be a beard, and so it added some beard stuff. That's my guess. Yeah, I think that's what it is. They fed it into an AI and said, give me a top view. Okay. It still brings up the question of, like, why no beard hair? Huh. See, you can see these little tiny, what is it? Triangles, whatever. What's this mishmash padding of stuff in here? That wasn't, my original one just looked like white plaster. And then a while ago, it started having these, I would call them tiles, but they looked more like tiles before. Now they look more like an indented pattern, sort of. Can't really tell. And now the wiki does not say anything about tiles. Count his toes. Okay, wait. Alright, we're saying that's not legit. Get rid of the orange iPad goat. That's a fake one, so... 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're right. He's got... It is AI because it's got 6 toes here, and how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 toes. Yeah, so it has to be AI. You're right. I should have thought of that because fingers can't be trusted. Neither can toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got the hands right. There's 5 of them. Actually, it does look weird right in here too. Like, what's going on here? Okay, so yeah, the toes. You're right. Good catch. I'm all looking at this and there's like 10 toes on his foot. Yeah, that was the easy one. I totally missed the low-hanging fruit. Okay, so speaking of the devil, though, let me just look at his real feet. Christ the Redeemer statue feet. Not finding anything. The AI is the only one that recognizes the feet. Let's try Google. Statue feet. Where are they? Oh. That doesn't look right. Is that really the feet? Well, those definitely look better than 3, 4, than they looked from afar. Shoik. Huh. It's almost like they look better than last time, like 5 minutes ago. All right, let's see. They do look better. Maybe they're still growing in. Excuse me. There's not too many images but that one. I guess we'll just have to accept that as it. Huh. That's a different one. Okay. Here we go. Foot of Christ the Redeemer. Wait a minute. Alright, this says it's a foot of the Christ Redeemer, and there's all this scrabbly crap around it. I don't trust it because this one up here says it's the foot of Christ the Redeemer, and there's a bunch of tiles. I wonder if people just like, you can't trust anything anymore. Okay, maybe that's Maratai foot. Maybe that's that fake one or something. Christ statue of Maratai. Maratai, Italy, the foot of Christ statue. Okay, so that's a different one. Yeah, I can't trust anything anymore. And then we're going to have this freaking thing, which is going to confuse everything. All right, well, anyway, that's enough of that. Oh, you have a photo. Okay, hold on. Doink. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So it has this anomaly, and then we don't know what that is now. His head, it looks like there's a scarf on him or something. You know, I think he has like the hair coming down like more than I remember, because I just don't, there's something weird about the head there. Okay, now maybe granted I never saw that angle before, but the other thing that's confusing me here is it looks like a lot of this hangs over open space now. Like they just built this out so that people could walk on it. And I don't remember that being the case. I just remember that they built stairs and platforms on actual ground. And that was it. They hadn't like expanded it out to be like floating in the air. And it's sort of weird here because it was sort of even, and now it's just all like what's the plan here? It's just what is this pattern? Like, oh, just make the edges here. Why not? That's all. Oh, you know what? I don't remember this down here either. There was just this and this. There wasn't like this back area. So this thing is definitely expanding. God dang, what's up with the back? The back looks weird. Wait, let me just look at the Christ the Redeemer. This thing is getting to me. All right, Christ the Redeemer. Back view. Oh, now I'm kind of, what does it look like back there? Okay, all right. Oh, the back, the hair. Yeah, I think his hair got long or something, because the hair looks weird. I don't remember that. All right, come on, show me it. I don't think that's the same one. That's something else. Oh, you know what? When you can't find it, that's when you really don't trust Google. I've definitely seen the back view before, and that was like, it was actually one of the times where I'm like, oh, what a cheesy statue. Okay, yeah, see, it definitely did not have this weird, whatever's going on, helmet head. He's suffering from helmet head back here. And then the hair is all like, it's like, it just sort of, that was not like that. He did not look like he had a Darth Vader helmet on. I'm quite sure he did not have. Okay, so what did they do? They just put a couple lines for the hair in on the front where you look down, and the rest is almost all helmet head. Okay, in a way that kind of explains why they didn't do the... No, this is bugging me, okay? They did a really nice job on the on the facial lines and stuff now, but then they were like too lazy to make the hair beyond right there. Oh, you know what it was, though? The current storyline, I was just reading, they said there was damage to the head. So maybe that's the repair work. Maybe the repair work sucks caca, and that's why he looks like Helmet Head. But that repair work was done a long time ago in this timeline, so... maybe that's what it is. He got struck. Now, the face is still way better, though, but... maybe that's why he has Helmet Head in this timeline. Guess we'll have to see what work was done. Oh, so you can really see what is going on here. I've never seen that before. And now, like, image after image is getting darker. Guys, look, somebody put a cigarette butt out on his chest. That must be phasing in. I swear the more images I look at, the more ridiculous that stain mark is. See, you can totally see it in there. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, he's got utter Helmet Head now. All right, well. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, them toes. I don't remember those toes. I don't remember them until today's the first day I've seen those. He got struck by fictional allegory. Shoulder blades become wings. I know. I know what you mean. We'll just like manipulate the magnetic field with our biophotons. And once we learn to do that, we can fly. Remember when we thought us humans would get 6 fingers? I was never really sold on that, but I did notice that there are a lot of humans that have 6 fingers now, because in my old time there really wasn't. But now there are a fair lot of humans that have 6 fingers and 6 toes. And they're fully functional. So, like, in my old timeline, they'd say, oh, this kid was born with an extra finger. And they would show it, and it'd just be this little flap of skin. Like, you know, like, it wasn't going to be good for anything. But now, when you get a finger, it's like a whole functional finger. So functional and normal looking that you almost don't notice there's an extra finger there. All right, well, let me just burn through the rest of this. That was a big distraction. I do think there was like moth, Attack of the Moths. I think there was a big shift because there's just been a ton of little stupid things around here I've just noticed. All right, so I always feel uncomfortable with the pronunciation. I'm pretty sure this is caduceus. So Jackie noticed this. You can really see it the most. That one doesn't really show it, but most of these images, the snakes and they end down below the wings now. They used to go all the way up to the top. Also, I didn't used to really see like eyes. Like, it wasn't so clear that those were snakes. It used to be more like that. But now on a lot of them, they do look like snakes. But most of them, not only do they look clearly like snakes, but they end down here under the wing. And so those used to curl up to the top, and the wings were sort of not so much attached. They weren't the main thing. So it looks like the wings have kind of taken more of the job up here. See, like, even that one, it ends and then it starts again for the wings. So we used to kind of say, oh, you know, those are like snakes, and the snakes are like the chakra meridian thingies. And but they didn't really so obviously draw them as snakes like this. And they didn't end there. So I agree with Jackie that it was a little bit more like a little more like this one, or it's just higher. You know, the other thing is I don't really remember, like, I don't know, the top here has gotten more detail and stuff on a lot of these. Is that the snakes were the main thing, and yeah, see, like, those are really bugging me. Those are not right. This one too, it's like, oh, what's going on here? There's no stuff. Again, I never really saw a clear, like, you know, like with eyeballs. I never saw any of them have eyeballs on them or a clear head. I would say it was more like this, but no eyeballs. So, caduceus has changed. Yeah, almost all of these show it as snakes. So this is a little bit more like how I remember, because it wasn't clearly a snake. The other thing I would say is there's just way more spirals on a lot of these. Like, it's just, yeah. Used to be a little more, less busy. More like that. With the number of spirals. It wasn't like, yeah, like this more. Just a few. Not all crazy. Not so busy. Shifting, energy's getting higher. Yep. How many do so I actually did know somebody online who had several of his kids were born with 6 fingers. So like the really small hands and the ungrown arms, it can happen from thalidomide if the mother took thalidomide. The big pharma told that all the mothers it was safe to take thalidomide, and then a whole bunch of babies were born without fully formed arms and legs. Sometimes it was just one arm, sometimes it was 2 arms, sometimes it was some legs also. And then before that, in the older days, sometimes if you had a really bad case of polio, then you may not have, but usually it was a little bit just more like muscle damage then. But okay, let me see, did I get all the ones I wanted to get done? Let me close up these. Boink. California, blah, blah. I did that. I want to call this 3 Atlas thing. Because, like, when it first showed up, I just remember it having a tail, and then they were just saying, oh, it's green, then it changed to this color, and then something. And then they said it had an anti-tail. I saw that recently. So it actually has a tail in the front, because they were saying, like, the sun was pulling on it. And now, like, Jackie is like, what the heck? It doesn't have a tail as an anti-tail. Then I find this 3 days ago, and it's saying it has an anti-tail here. Never even heard of an anti-tail. Plus 2 regular tails. Two regular tails. What the hell? 2 tails and an anti-tail, because, like, 1 tail is not enough. So 3 Atlas. There's gonna be like a Christ the Redeemer on 3 Atlas with 6 toes if this keeps up. Okay, so that was one. Apparently they got some of Hitler's blood. And they cross-checked it with another sample of blood. And I don't even remember them having any. Like, they said they cut it from the sofa where he killed himself. I thought they found him dead on the ground, but now what? They found him dead on a sofa? And so they my brain is freezing up. Okay, so they blood tested it, and supposedly, if you can trust them all, they said that he suffered from, what is that freaking, some disease I never, probably suffered from, what is that freaking disease? Kallman syndrome, Kallman syndrome. Jackie found this Kallman syndrome, and I looked it up, and it's like a syndrome where you don't fully develop out of adolescence. Like you don't like your man parts don't grow properly. So they're saying he was maybe trying to overcompensate for a lack or something. I'm like, is this even true? But I mean, in this timeline, everything is so weird. So that's what they're saying. He had his DNA results, if you trust anything, he had Kallman syndrome, whatever the heck is that. Caduceus. I'm looking to see if everything. Sea robins, glowworms, piranhas. Yeah, I think I have everything now. Went over about 15 minutes. Okay, that's it. I don't know that they got some blood, but then they said they got, didn't they say, let's see, they couldn't get anything from living relatives because the living relatives refused. But a Hitler male line relative swab collected 10 years earlier by a Belgian journalist investigating a rumor that a German dictator had fathered an illegitimate something yielded a perfect Y chromosome match. So they got the relatives from permission to use that DNA for this purpose. If they got that permission to use that DNA is unclear. But anyway, the point was that they crossed this couch blood with this relative blood that was gotten 10 years earlier, relative DNA, and they did match supposedly. So either it probably is the blood, or this people are just lying there super pants off, because the chances of the Y chromosome matching are extremely small. Pardon the pun. No, see, they did. They cross-checked it with that swab from 10 years earlier. They're saying that the families refused to give any blood, so. Well, see, no, that Napoleon height, that I'm quite positive is, in fact, a Mandela. He just wasn't short in this timeline. He didn't stick his hand under his jacket in this timeline either, apparently, so. Hitler lived and died in Argentina. I don't know. Like, there could be 75 different timelines. I mean, the way we're going, I'm wondering if we're going to get to the point where Jesus was actually, Hitler was actually Jesus or something, because everything is backwards now. It's just, everything you ever learned, it's just the reverse is being rolled out. We're going to opposite land, apparently. All right, anyways, that's all I have, because there's no time for any more anyways, and it's been a wild week, so hope you all had a good week. Think good thoughts, everybody. Thank you for coming. This is Eva, signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.